The rich aroma of marinara and fresh basil washed over me as I pushed open the heavy wooden door of Bella Rosa, my grandmother's beloved restaurant. For most, it was just dinner. For me, it was a home stitched together with spices and memories. Sophia. Nana Rosa called from her regular spot, a worn leather booth near the kitchen that served as her command center. Even after a recent hospital stay, her voice still carried authority and warmth. You came. I rushed over and helped her stand so we could share our traditional hug. At 82, she felt more fragile than I remembered, but her sharp eyes hadn't dulled a bit, the same eyes that built this place from a hole in the wall into a neighborhood landmark. Of course I came, I said, sliding into the booth across from her. You said it was urgent. She glanced toward the bustling kitchen, then leaned in. Marcus and Anthony have been sniffing around, she whispered. Asking about the restaurant's legal documents. My chest tightened. My cousins only ever showed up when they needed a handout or wanted to play entrepreneur with Nana's money. What kind of questions? Ownership. Bank accounts. Licenses. She pulled a thick envelope from her bag and slid it across the table. I need you to take these. Before they do something reckless. Inside was a fully notarized power of attorney document. Copies of the deed. Business records. Licenses. Nana, are you absolutely sure? Her hand found mine and held it tightly. For someone so small, her grip still had steel. You're the only one who understands what this place truly is. To them, it's just a payday. I tried to answer, but she was overtaken by a harsh cough. It lingered too long. You need to rest, I said, helping her to a sip of water. This place keeps me going, she said with a faint smile. Promise me you'll protect it. No matter what. I promise, I said, tucking the envelope safely into my bag. She touched my cheek, just like she used to when I was a child. Keep the papers safe. That would be the last real conversation I ever had with her. She was hospitalized again 3 days later. 2 weeks after that, we buried her. I was in Seattle, deep in contract negotiations for a software launch, when the call came. She had died peacefully in her sleep. By the time I made it back, Marcus and Anthony had already taken charge. The funeral was a haze of casseroles and condolences from relatives who hadn't seen her in years. I noticed my cousins whispering in corners, but I was too overwhelmed to care. It wasn't until I visited the restaurant a week later that I realized something was off. The lights were off. The closed sign hung in the window. On a Thursday. My key still worked. But inside, the place felt hollow. No clatter, no music. Just silence and the ghosts of garlic and tomato in the air. You looking for something? I turned to find Marcus and Anthony in the doorway, smug and smirking. Why is Bella Rosa closed? Sold it, Marcus said, as casually as if he were talking about the weather. Developers offered a fortune. Whole blocks going condo. You what? Sold it, Anthony repeated, slowly and mockingly. We're the estate executors. Time to bring Nana's legacy into the 21st century. You didn't have the right, I said, voice cold and clear. Their amusement faded. But I was already pulling the envelope from my bag. Actually, you didn't sell anything. I laid the documents on the table between us. Nana gave me full power of attorney. 2 weeks before she passed. It's notarized. Legal. And binding. Their smugness evaporated. Anthony's face blanched. Marcus looked ready to lunge for the papers. Already filed with the county, I said, sliding the envelope back into my bag. Also with my lawyer. And the restaurant's attorney. You're bluffing, Anthony said, but his voice wavered. Call your lawyer, I said. Or the buyers. Let them know they bought something you never owned. We're family. Marcus snapped. You wouldn't. Family doesn't sell their grandmother's soul for a quick payout. Anthony's voice dropped. It was $5 million. I walked over to the photo wall, snapshots of Nana's life, this restaurant's evolution, and my childhood etched into the bricks. It's not for sale, I said quietly. It never was. You'll regret this, Marcus warned. The money's spent. The developers won't be happy. I turned back to them, channeling every ounce of Nana's grit. No, you'll regret this. Tomorrow I call the DA. Real estate fraud carries prison time. They shifted uncomfortably. Unless, Anthony started. Unless what? You let us walk away. Quietly. I crossed my arms. Sign over any claims. Repay what you spent. And I won't press charges. That's blackmail. Marcus barked. No, I said calmly. That's mercy. They left, slamming the door behind them. I stood alone in the dim restaurant, surrounded by memories and faint echoes of clinking glasses. I promised, I whispered into the stillness. And I'm keeping that promise. I knew the fight wasn't over. My cousins wouldn't walk away quietly. The developers wouldn't abandon a multi-million-dollar deal without a battle. And in the background, my career in Seattle, my other life, was calling louder by the day. But sometimes, protecting what matters means standing your ground on all fronts. And I was ready. The next morning, I woke to 17 missed calls and a barrage of texts, angry, accusatory, venomous. The news had spread quickly, the granddaughter who ruined everything, the power of attorney no one saw coming, the two cousins who tried to sell what wasn't theirs. One voicemail stood out, Aunt Maria's. Who do you think you are? Marcus and Anthony were trying to do what's best for the family. You're acting just like your mother, selfish. I dressed with purpose, charcoal gray suit, hair back, no nonsense. Today wasn't about family drama. It was about protecting a legacy. Sterling Development Group's office was perched atop a mirrored skyscraper, modern, cold, and clinical, the exact opposite of Bella Rosa's faded warmth. Ms. Russo, Bradley Sterling greeted me. He was all tailored confidence and insincere smiles. Glad you came. I think we can resolve this misunderstanding. I took the seat opposite him and surveyed the table of condo mock-ups like they were graves. The misunderstanding, I said, is that you tried to buy a property from people with no legal right to sell it. He offered a tight smile. We were told your cousins were handling the estate. And no one bothered to verify the legal authority? That's a stunning oversight for a company your size. We've already started pre-construction, he said, brushing aside my comment. Permits are filed, contractors lined up. All illegal, I said, because you don't own the building. He leaned in, tone shifting from polite to predatory. We'll give you $6 million. That's $1 million more than we offered them. I stood, smoothed my jacket. This meeting was a courtesy. I'm not interested in selling. Any permits you filed are already being challenged. If you want a fight, you'll get one. You're clinging to the past. He called after me. You can't stop what's coming. I paused at the door. My grandmother was what came. She built that restaurant when your father was still learning to tie his shoes. Progress doesn't always mean demolition. Back at Bella Rosa, Marcus and Anthony were waiting, with a lawyer who looked like he regretted showing up. We're contesting the power of attorney, Marcus announced. She was unwell, Anthony added, not of sound mind. She was dying, I said, unlocking the door, but sharp as ever. Inside, I pulled up the video on my laptop, Nana, filmed in her favorite booth, explaining her decision with clarity and conviction. Sophia understands this isn't just a restaurant, it's who we are. Their lawyer went pale. There's also a medical evaluation, I added, in case you need more convincing. Marcus slammed the laptop shut. This is bull. Watch your mouth, I said calmly. This is still her place. The lawyer cleared his throat. My clients have already spent part of the developer's payment. If the sale collapses, not my problem. Anthony's eyes narrowed. We'll go public. Tell everyone you manipulated her. I met his gaze. Then I'll go public with the video. Let's see which version the community believes, the granddaughter who stayed, or the grandsons who tried to cash out before the funeral. Reality hit them hard. You could see it in the silence, the sagging shoulders, the lawyer's urgent whispers. I laid out the final offer. Sign the documents, renounce all claims, pay back what you spent, or face fraud charges. We don't have the money, Marcus muttered. Then sell something, but fix it. They signed. After they left, I wandered the quiet restaurant, my fingers brushing the bar Nana had once leaned against while telling stories of Naples and wartime rations and dreams bigger than the kitchen she cooked in. A text pinged, Seattle. My project manager. Clients nervous. We need you back ASAP. Right. My real job. My other life. Then the bell above the door rang. Aunt Maria. You ruined them, she said. Their credit. Their reputations. They ruined themselves, I replied. They tried to steal. It's just a building. I shook my head. No, it's everything Nana built, everything she protected. She's gone. Sophia, you're clinging to bricks and nostalgia. I pointed to a photo on the wall, Nana, 1981, standing proudly outside Bella Rosa after taking over from her parents. She mortgaged her home to keep this place alive. She worked double shifts when banks wouldn't loan to women. She held this family together. This isn't nostalgia, it's legacy. Maria didn't argue. She couldn't. What are you going to do? She finally asked. You've got your tech job. You're not a chef. I smiled, already imagining the next steps. Watch me. That night, after she left, I sat in Nana's booth, staring at my resignation email. Some decisions don't feel like choices, they feel like calling. A new message popped up from Sterling's office. $7 million. Final offer. I replied with 2 words. Not interested. Then I opened a blank document. Bella Rosa, a new chapter. 6 months later, the kitchen was alive at 5 a.m. Head chef Marco, a Naples native, was teaching Nana's marinara recipe to his team. The secret isn't in the ingredients, he told them. It's in the patience, the love. I smiled. Nana would have liked him. My phone buzzed again, another cease and desist from Sterling's lawyers. I didn't bother reading it. Nothing they tried had worked. The community had rallied. My modernization plan, a mix of tradition and tech, was gaining national attention. A local news headline flashed across our new digital menu screen. Old soul, new heart, how Bella Rosa sparked a revival. We'd preserved the old menu but added fresh ideas, introduced smart kitchen tech, built a seamless app. The ovens were still firebrick, but the future was here, and grounded in everything Nana stood for. The bell over the door rang again. Maria. She stood awkwardly by the counter. The boys, they're in trouble, she began. I took a breath. Some legacies are hard to carry, but the right ones are worth every step. The developers were suing them for breach of contract. Of course they were. Sterling Development Group didn't like losing, and they never forgot a grudge. What do you expect me to do about it? I asked. Their family, Maria said softly, despite everything. I led her to Nana's booth, my makeshift office, still warmed by her memory. Be honest, I said, if the sale had gone through, if condos were going up right now, do you think they'd have shared that money with the family? Helped anyone but themselves? Maria looked down, tracing the worn grain of the table with her fingertip. No, she whispered, they wouldn't have. I can't fix their legal mess, I said, but I can offer them something better, work. Real work, from the bottom up, the way Nana did. They're too proud. Then they're not desperate enough. Nana built this place on grit, not ego. If they want in, they earn it. The kitchen was waking up, bread baking, coffee machines humming, the start of another lunch rush. You've done amazing things, Maria said, glancing around the restored photo wall, the new espresso bar, the subtle modernization that respected the past. She would be proud. She'd be prouder if the family finally stood together. I replied, tell them the offer stands, but they have to want to build something, not just cash in on it. After she left, I made my way through the dining room, checking on tables and greeting customers. My phone buzzed, a notification from the app. New record, highest number of advanced bookings. That evening, as the dinner rush dwindled and the clatter of dishes faded, I found Marcus sitting at the bar. Need a job, he mumbled, eyes down. They're going to take my house. I poured him water. No alcohol, not until we talk. The kitchen needs help. You start at 5 a.m. Minimum wage. You earn every step. I have an MBA. And yet here we are, I said. Time to learn what success really looks like. He stared at the glass, shame and humility battling on his face. I messed up, didn't I? Yes, I answered, but Nana believed in second chances. One condition, you apologize to her first. I walked him to the photo on the wall, Nana, smiling in her booth. He stood there, eyes wet, pride finally giving way. 2 weeks later, Anthony joined too. I didn't go easy on them. They scrubbed floors, prepped vegetables, waited tables. No shortcuts, no exceptions, just honest work and slowly, understanding. 1 year after I stopped the sale, we hosted a special dinner. The restaurant was packed, family, friends, even those who had once sided with the developers. I stood beneath that same photo wall, now expanded with fresh memories, and raised a glass. A year ago, some saw this place as just another building, a piece of land with a price tag. But those people didn't understand its true worth. Nana built Bella Rosa with more than recipes, she built it with soul. She believed in feeding people's hearts, not just their stomachs. And that kind of value can't be measured in millions. From the kitchen, Marcus and Anthony nodded, now confident in their roles. I unveiled a new photo, Nana in her booth during our last conversation. Below it, a plaque etched with her words. Some things are worth more than money. Some legacies can't be sold. Sterling Development owns most of the block now, glass towers on either side, but Bella Rosa still stands small, glowing, defiant. Our hybrid model, blending tradition with innovation, has become a local case study in sustainable preservation. We kept the wood-fired oven and added smart kitchen tech, kept the recipes and built an app, honored the past, embraced the future. The offers keep coming, bigger numbers, bolder threats. I just send them our menu and a short reply. Come taste what you can't buy. Some nights, when the restaurant is still and the scent of marinara lingers, I sit in Nana's booth. I don't feel her absence, I feel her presence, in the laughter of families, in the hum of the kitchen, in every dish served with care. Marcus and Anthony are learning, not just how to run a restaurant, but how to value legacy. Because the real inheritance wasn't money. It was meaning. You were right, Nana, I whisper, some things are worth fighting for. And the best revenge? It wasn't in lawsuits or headlines. It was in protecting what mattered most. Bella Rosa's neon sign glows like a heartbeat in the dark, a symbol of resilience against a skyline of concrete and compromise. We're not just surviving. We're thriving. Because in a world spinning towards speed and profit, people still crave something real, something rooted, something that feels like home. Bella Rosa is that place. Not a monument to the past. A promise to the future. And proof that the things worth the most can't be sold.